Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. All right, we came into customer service, and please keep these coming in because questions you ask are all relative to the swing, and if you're having issues or misunderstanding something, or in the case of this letter, figured something out, it's better to come from these questions coming from you Sergites all over the world are things that you're experiencing, both in having trouble or learning it. So send them in. That makes, I think, a lot more powerful for me to answer these questions and help everybody learn the peak performance golf swing. This one comes to me from Ray Johnson, and he says, Don, I switched to PPGS about 2 years ago. This summer, I finally put it all together. Slow learner, I guess. He's got that in parentheses. The last missing piece was taking my swing back into the catcher's mitt. For a long time, I took it back toe up, but seemed to wind up wiping across the ball coming back through, meaning in his downswing through the ball. He was coming outside in. Finally, I concentrated on going toe up into the catcher's mitt. What a difference. Literally, within a couple of swings, I started hitting the ball further and straighter. I was amazed, as were my playing partners. So for anyone who thinks they're doing everything else perfectly, but are still hitting weak fades or worse, snap hooks, the answer may be to first be in the first foot or so in the backswing. Thanks. Good point. And I want to talk, that brings up a couple things that I can give out here as, say, if you're having that problem, you might want to check this out because I think it's one that is very simple to do. And I mean, it's actually one that I suffer with myself. Let me get an alignment arrow here on the ground, and I'm going to swing this way because we're talking backswing here. All right, so I'm going to try to line this up towards the camera. Now, what Mr. Johnson, Ray was talking about was he started taking the club back. I think when he was coming back and wiping across the ball, he likely, in trying to take the club straight back in the catcher's mitt toe up, we know that the catcher's mitt is direct just an inch or so inside the aiming line. So from this view, if I was the catcher looking at the target and the golfer was standing here, a right-handed golfer was standing here swinging from there, the catcher's mitt would be just basically slightly inside the mitt. All right. Now, one of the things I actually have to worry about, and because it jumps up and bites me a lot, I think it's the same line to what Ray said. You sometimes, in taking it back in the mitt, you can actually keep the right arm too straight, too long, and that'll actually have the club going slightly outside the line. As you see, it's like the heel going out here. And I think in many cases, when we do that, it's also easy to, in lifting it, we really don't turn enough. Remember, even the definition of peak performance golf swing is a 3/4 limited turn. So we still have to have a little bit of turn here. All right. And so and again, that's another thing that jumps up and bites me every now and then, and I got to really think about it. We say that peak performance swing starts with I feel like the right hip and shoulder. You could even throw the right knee in there. Right knee, hip, and shoulder. The right side starts to turn back, where we turn and sit and load into the right side, where we sit on a flex right knee. It actually sinks a little bit, so if it sinks, the weight's on it. That way you can push off of it. If you turn back on a straight leg, it's hard to push off because if the leg straightens, it's pushing your weight back towards your front side. So I actually get in here and I make sure that I work on making sure that I turn and I load into the right side, that the swing starts with the body turning, not just the hands, so to speak, trying to lift the club up itself. Because if you don't turn and you just lift the club up, it's going slightly outside the line. And if you swing straight up from there, you won't have even reached your toe line. Remember, the limited turn swing means we turn at least to the toe line. But it means we turn. The torso has to turn too. Right knee, hip, and shoulders has to turn to get it over there, and then it goes straight up. So if you just go out too straight, you might not have any turn. You might feel like maybe you're sinking into your right side, but what it is your hips are just likely sliding into the right side rather than turning. Okay? So I think that's a really good point, and and since it's like the start of the swing, if the swing starts off improperly, then it's just the dominoes starting to fall all the way down. Okay, so let's make sure we get in here. The right arm is under into the master setup position. We turn, and the arms have to rotate to get in, and then go straight up the tree. Okay, turns in and straight up the tree. A little bit of turn starts the swing, and even though I start to swing with my right knee, hip, and shoulder, I try to feel like the head's going to move first, but the head's moving first, the hands, everything's rotating. The whole left arm is rotating straight back and up, and then straight down and through. Okay, so The takeaway is critical, but you got to make sure that we start it with the body, the square of the body, and the triangle of the arms, and that we are actually turning, not just pushing the arm straight or lifting the arm straight back, which would be slightly outside the aiming line. Okay? Great question. Ray saw the results of when you really finally get just the right amount of turn over the toe line and up. Okay, so work on that if you've been having that hitting those weak fades or getting the ball hitting out a little bit too much towards the toe. Okay, that's it for the search for today, and I'll be speaking with you all again soon.